it's Megan. I'm coming at you on my lunch break, which I haven't done in so long, but I was just like dying to talk to you, and I don't have time this weekend to film because we're going into the city, we're going to New York, we're seeing Book of Mormon. I am so excited, and then it's Super Bowl and I'm spending it at Michael's house. So I thought that me and my staticky hair could join you today and update you guys on my budgeting and thoughts about budgeting, things that I'm trying to work on with my budget, and I just really got off of the bandwagon of following a budget and just being dedicated to a budget, because I have discovered about myself, especially within like the past like year and a half, that I much prefer planning and thinking about things and thinking about every single detail and plan B and plan C and all like the possible scenarios that could happen and making spreadsheets and doing like making up plans. I prefer like all that prep work as opposed to actually doing stuff. So I find it so much more fun to think of a budget and make the spreadsheets and write out all my plans than actually following it, because following through on stuff is way more difficult than doing all that like planning and preparation. So I finally realized that about myself, and I'm being very honest with myself about that. And I don't particularly want to be that way. Like, I love planning, and I think I'll always like planning, and I'll probably always like planning a little bit more than actually doing things. But when it comes to budgeting, it's so important to me to actually follow through. And like we've talked about so many times in the past, and I've told you guys that I am the only one like forcing myself to do this stuff. I'm the only one that's like, Megan, you better get your shit together. You better get your money in order. You are going to do this because you're going to be better for it. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel more powerful and in control. And no one is like pressuring me to do this. And if I would have became older and I still had the bad money spending habits that I did in the past, I think people probably would have started to told me like, what the hell are you doing? Like, stop spending all your money. But I'm really glad that I discovered that I was really like addicted to spending money and not prioritizing saving. And I'm really thankful that I am able to be honest with myself and tell myself those things that I don't want to tell myself, but that will improve my life and make me a happier person. Because in the past, I probably would have just given myself a pass and been like, oh, well, you had a hard day, like, go ahead, treat yourself to something. And I do still believe in treating yourself and getting yourself nice things or doing like fun experiences. Because we all deserve it. We all work hard, whether you're a student or you work full-time or you're a parent or you're all of those things. And so we do deserve to be happy and have things that make us happy. But I was definitely very, like, screwed up with what I thought made me happy, because the things that I spent my money on weren't the things that made me happy. And so I realized that having experiences makes me way happier than tangible items ever have and ever will. I like getting nice things here and there. You guys saw me do my home haul recently, and I'm really excited about all those nice things that will suit me and last me for a really long time in my future home. And that, like, I guess the reason that kind of stuff makes me happy is because it's leading to an experience. It's leading to being like a full-blown adult and having my own space, and that's not any time soon that I can see in the near future, but I know that it'll happen within the next few years. And it's just really exciting to look forward to. So you have noticed that I don't really do a lot of like makeup hauls and beauty hauls anymore, and I still do pick up a few things here and there, which I want to try to limit as much as possible, but I am always trying to remind myself of what is most important. And to me, what is most important to me is spending time with the people that I love. So me and Michael spend a lot of our like fun money on going out to dates, going to nice restaurants, taking little trips. And that is something that brings both of us a lot of joy. And that's something that I've always wanted. I've always wanted to spend my time with someone or people that have the same priorities like that as me. And so it's really nice to be with him and to have similar goals and priorities like that. And like I mentioned, I wasn't prioritizing savings, and I've saved more money than I ever would have thought was possible just by slowly building up my momentum, I guess of savings. And then Christmas time came, and I don't know what happened to me this year. I just really lost control of like my budgeting and just doing what I know was right for me with my money, but I got off track. And I'm using that as a lesson because seeing like how much I spend over a short amount of time really freaked me out. It really, like, just thinking about it gives me like anxiety, and I regret doing that and spending as much money as I did. And like, honestly, what do I even have to show for it? Like, I don't really have anything. It was for some trips here and there and then like gifts and stuff, but I don't know, it just adds up so quickly. And so that was like a wake-up call to me, and I've had many wake-up calls in the past with spending, but especially this time after I've worked so hard to encourage myself to save more money, to spend less money, and to see how much money I spent just really, I guess, surprised me and like disappointed me. And I just felt really, really disappointed in myself. So I sat down with myself and made up mock budgets. So I plan my budgets based on my paycheck. I get paid bi-weekly, so whatever like frequency that you get paid, I would do it per paycheck because that's how money works. Like, a lot of bills are once a month, but your money comes into you as many times as you get paid. So I do my paychecks I do my budget per paycheck, and I probably, you guys, made like 5 or 7 different drafts of a budget, just writing out. So like, what I just do it on like a little piece of paper. I learn things better by like handwriting them. So I would write at the top like my paycheck like amount, because I get the same amount of pay every paycheck. This budgeting is definitely more difficult if you have fluctuating pay, and unfortunately I don't have like too much advice for that because I didn't really budget when I worked retail and had that. But just write the amount of money that you get on your paycheck. Then I wrote down the like must pays, so like my bills. So I consider my bills my student loans, my car payment, and gas, and my Easy Pass. So those are things that I'm gonna have to pay them no matter what. Gas, I use my car so freaking much, you guys, and I use my Easy Pass every time I see Michael. So I've been spending a lot more money on gas and my Easy Pass than I did in the past. But those 3 things, student loans, car payment, and gas, and my Easy Pass, those are like you must budget for those things for me. So I write down those amounts that, like, for gas and my Easy Pass, I estimate it based on like my past usage. So for gas, I put like $50 per paycheck, and my Easy Pass $35 because that's the minimum like top up that you can do for Easy Pass. So I budget that and I subtract that from the amount of money that I get in my paycheck. And then I can work off of that money that's left over after those bills, those must pay for things, and use that amount, so whatever amount it is, I just take that smaller amount and break it up for my savings and my spending. So spending, I'm gonna spend money. There's just no way that I'm not gonna spend money. So I have toyed with different amounts, and I finally settled on an amount that I feel comfortable with giving myself as like fun money to spend on dates with Michael, going out with my friends, buying things here and there, shopping at Target, like whatever it is, that is my money that I can spend freely on whatever I want. And I'm really gonna try to stick to that. It's less than I have allowed myself to use in the past, so I'm a little worried that I'm not going to be able to stick to it as well. But I am confident in myself that I can curb my spending even more than I already have. I've pretty much cut out all unnecessary beauty spending. I have been shopping a little bit for clothes lately, but like my coat that I got, I really love that. And I got a dress recently, but I'm not shopping as frequently as I ever did before. Even just going to Target, I like don't really allow myself to do, because I know that I'm gonna end up with more stuff than I need and that I was planning on getting. If I have something to buy, I would much rather like build a cart online, either from Target or Amazon or whatever, and just buy those things that I definitely need and just buy it online and have it delivered to my house than going to the store and being tempted. Because as much as I have trained myself and practiced with myself not to impulse buy things, I still have work to do. So I'm still not perfect. I don't think I'll ever be perfect when it comes to money or impulse buying. But to me, it's just safer for me to buy stuff online and just get the things that I actually need. So my spending limit for myself is what I subtract next from my paycheck amount. So I have my paycheck amount, I have my bills that I subtract immediately, and then I have my spending like limit that I subtract then. Then the rest of that money is allocated for savings. And what I have been doing for quite a few months, probably a year or so, is I have different savings accounts for different things. So I have one for moving out, one for emergency fund, one for vacations, one for this, one for that, like all these different things that I am saving for in the future. And anything that is like not like near in the future, like moving out and like furniture and stuff, I have that in a separate account, separate from like my debit account, because my debit card, I have a savings account there, and I put things that are more likely for me to buy more regularly, I guess, like concert tickets, little like trips, like weekend trips, and things that are going to be going on like whenever they pop up. With moving out, that's going to be like a huge ordeal, so I'll be able to have time to take that money out of that account and put it in whatever other account I need to buy things. So I separate my savings as much as I can. That's just really helpful for me. You can have one savings account and just keep an Excel document or like a piece of paper or something that has it all broken down with the amounts that you are saving specifically for different things. But it's just, to me, I need to see it. I need to know, okay, in my emergency fund, I have this much. In my vacation fund, I have this much. And that just works for me. So I really like that. And my like biggest thing, this is like a long-winded like way to get to this point, but my biggest realization in the past like month, because it's been basically 1 month since 2017 started, is to prioritize saving, but make it a non-negotiable. Make saving something that you don't give yourself the chance to be like, oh, well, I don't have money really. I want to spend my money on this other thing, so I'll just not put my money into savings this month, or I won't put as much money into savings as I did before. because I would do that to myself, and I would be like, oh, well, like I could put my budgeted amount into my vacation fund, but like I really want to use that money now, and it's fine. Like I don't need to save for that right now. We're not going on vacation anytime soon. But the more that you allow yourself to just be like, oh, well, I don't really need to save for that right now. Like I just didn't save anymore. Like I just didn't put it into savings. And so what I have done for here on out is I scheduled my savings to be removed from my checking account and into my savings account. So I just put the amount that I want to put every single paycheck into the different savings accounts, and I scheduled it to happen every 2 weeks. So every time I get paid, the money will also be taken from my checking account directly into my savings account. I don't have to think about it. I'm obviously gonna notice it, but I don't have to like choose to do it. It's doing it for me. And that's why I think it's really important to build up to the savings goal that you want. Because if you just started with, oh, I'm gonna go from saving $0 to saving like $300, you might not, but me, when I have done that to myself, I realize like, oh shit, like I am not in the mentality or in the habit of saving that much money, so I won't be able to sustain it. So what I do is I set my, like, what are those things called? Like, not direct deposit, it's like, it's just moving it directly into the account without you having to do it. It's just a scheduled transfer, I think it's called. So my scheduled transfer amounts of money are lower than what I would like to do, but I just want to get used to it happening, and then I can always increase it. And since I'm constantly trying to save for like a bajillion different things at once, I prioritize my savings goals based on a lot of different factors, but right now my number 1 and number 2 savings goals are moving out and my emergency fund. I think my emergency fund will always be something that I prioritize, but moving out is definitely something, like I said, within the next 2 years probably, I will really want to have moved out of my parents' home into an apartment or a house, and so that's my number 1 priority for savings right now. And I've always heard the term pay yourself first, and I used to like really think about that all the time and think that I was doing that, but I really wasn't doing it. And now that I have decided that savings is a non-negotiable, I'm basically considering it as a bill. So in my little thing where I was telling you, first I have my paycheck amount, then I have my bills, then I have my spending, and then I have my savings. After I figured out my budgeting and what I want to put in my savings, I've basically put that scheduled transfer amount. So I added up all the amounts that I'm transferring it from my checking to my savings. That amount I have placed up with my bills. So I know every single 2 weeks that amount of money is not available for me to spend or do whatever I want with. That amount of money will always be going into my savings. And that mentality has, I think, really, really changed things for me, because knowing that it's not like a wishy-washy thing like, oh, well, if I have money left over, I'll put my money into savings, which is the habit that I was getting into. Now that that's not even an option, now that I know, well, oh, that money, there's nothing to do with it because it's in my savings. I don't want to take money out of my savings. And it just really changed how I thought about saving. Once I decided that it is a non-negotiable, it's a must pay, it's a bill basically, like I'm billing myself, I'm paying myself first. I'm just transitioning my money to a different account. But once I transfer it to a different account, I don't touch it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to think about it. And that is why I have like a whole different account just for my savings goals, because if I saw it all the time, I'd be like, oh damn, I have so much money, you know? But I don't have that money. That money isn't available to me. So I try not to think about it. I only try to see the money that I actually have in my checking account. And that really, really helps me. And so if you go through your budget and you realize, oh, like I'm not doing so well, and I think most people could do better on their budgets. I could do so much better, but I'm hoping to get a lot better over 2017. If you think about your savings as a must pay, as a bill, it might, like that little change might be what it takes for you to take it even more seriously. Like I have taken savings very, very seriously over the past 2 years, but now I feel like I'm on a whole nother level. Like I just feel completely different about it, and I take it more seriously, and I respect that money, and I know that I'm better off in the future by saving it and not by spending it on shoes or on dinner or whatever it is. Like if my budget doesn't allow me to have as much money, I will spend less money, and I just have to get used to it, which is the biggest hurdle to me, is getting used to having less money that you can do whatever you want with. Because once I have a direct like transfer of my money into my 401k, so I don't see it on my paycheck. It goes directly into my 401k. And when I did that, I thought, oh my god, like how am I gonna live without that chunk of money? Because I really believe in saving as early as possible for retirement. But I just thought, oh my god, like did I like put too much into my 401k? Am I gonna be able to like survive off of this money that I have left over? And I don't miss it. I don't realize that that amount of money is removed from my paycheck every week. I just don't think about it. I just learn to live with it, and you learn to live with less, and I'm happier than I've ever been. So it's just really interesting. You kind of have to trick yourself, make yourself think a certain way to feel like what you're doing and how much you're saving and the priorities that you know that you have. Sometimes you just have to change the way you think about those things, and that really was effective for me and is effective for me. And when I am like trying to figure out how much money I'm spending and saving and stuff like that, I just always remove that amount of money that's going into my savings. I just subtract it immediately like I would a bill from like when I'm balancing. I kind of write out all my like bills and stuff that I have to pay and money that I will be getting in. I kind of write it out for the whole month and just see how much money I'll have left over at the end of the month. I don't know. It helps me to make it seem more real. And I subtract that savings money like automatically. So I hope that helps. I feel like I talk about things in such like a whirlwind way that I don't even know if it makes any sense. But basically, pay yourself first, make savings a non-negotiable. Even if you only can start saving $10 every paycheck or every week, I really think and know that it will add up. It adds up so quickly, you guys. It is crazy. And just forget about that money. Only reach for that money if you absolutely need to. When you reach your goal or whatever it is, when you're ready to take out your money for if there's an emergency or if you're moving out or you're going on vacation or whatever it is, just don't look at it until you reach that point of needing it, because like being kind of removed from it will make it seem like it's growing even faster because you're not focusing on it all the time. And one tip I read on a Refinery 29 post, they have really interesting like personal finance posts. So one of the girls from the post that I was reading said that she would save like she would pick a denomination of a bill, so either a 1, a 5, a 10, or a 20, or a 50, or a 100, or whatever, and every time she got that bill, she would put it in like a little envelope or in a jar or something and just save it. So I'm gonna start doing that with $5 bills. I feel like I don't get $5 bills too often, but like, why not just put those fives into like a little spot, save that money, and then watch it grow, and all those little $5 bills that you thought, oh, I'll just buy coffee today, here's a 5, like, it's nothing. It isn't nothing, it adds up over time, and I'll be able to like go on vacation or something. So I just thought that was a really cool, like, easy way to save money, like, as regularly as you can. And like I talked about in my finance goals for 2017, I really want to pay in cash as much as possible this year. So if I'm getting like 5s as change, I'll have even more savings. And you, like I said, you just learn to live with less money. And if you tell yourself, oh, you only have $150 this week to spend, or this month, or this whatever, that is what you have. And I don't know, it's just really interesting. It's all a mental state. It's mind games that you play with yourself. I think psychology is everything. It deals with every single thing that we do, especially money. And it's just cool to kind of make a breakthrough with myself when it comes to how important savings is to me, and how it can basically become second nature if you're not allowing yourself to think any other way. Like, just save it and that's it. Like, bottom line, there's no arguing with it. It just is in your savings and you're not getting it back, basically. That's what I tell myself, at least. Okay, so off of that heavy topic, I just wanted to mention this cake that I really, really want to make. It looks so effing good, you guys. Okay, so Jen from Pretty Neat Living made this cake for her husband Don's birthday, and I saw in an Instagram comment that someone found the recipe online. So it's this ultimate birthday cake, and the book is called Baked Occasions, but this website, Serious Eats, I believe it was called, posted it on their website. So I'll link it down below for you guys. It's just this like amazingly sprinkle-licious vanilla cake. It, like, this picture is so small, I don't even know if you can see it, but it's an intense recipe. Like, there's hella ingredients and it's gonna take like hours to make, but I really, really, really want to make it. I love vanilla cake, and this one just looks amazing. It's like funfetti, basically. Then I also printed out this recipe for lemon bars. I really like lemon desserts, and my boyfriend loves anything fruit, so I want to make these eventually, maybe for Valentine's Day, which is coming up really soon. And I've been rambling for so long I can't think, and I'm gonna be late for work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any tips or thoughts about budgeting currently, and I'm just really trying to get back on track with things, and I feel really, really motivated to actually follow through with it and not just plan it. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I'll definitely be doing more finance videos this year. And I don't know, you guys seem to really like them. I benefit so much. Oh, our new phone, it has like the weirdest ringer. I benefit so much from doing these videos. It just really helps me stay on track mentally with finances and saving and my big goals, my actual priorities, instead of just buying things willy-nilly and not really thinking about how spending $20, $40, $60 here and there really, really adds up and can completely like affect or ruin my goals in the future, because I'm just not thinking about things in the way that I wish that I was. So I have a lot of improving to do, but I'm thinking that this year is going to be really monumental for me when it comes to money, and just always trying to improve myself and be honest with myself about things that I can and will improve on. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Thanks for hanging out with me during my lunch break, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye.